Welcome back to TMZ Live. Luigi Mangione was back in court today for a big decision from the judge about the evidence that was collected the day he was arrested at the McDonald's in Pennsylvania. And his attorneys, this was a big deal for them because they were hoping to get a bunch of that evidence thrown out, saying that it was an illegal search of his backpack.
Because they didn't have a search warrant and he wasn't Mirandized or anything like that.
Well, the judge did rule in their favor on some of the things, but I gotta say, I think the bigger ones, the prosecutors won.
I hate to put it this way, but incompetence paid off for prosecutors in the biggest way possible.
Yeah,
possibly,
because
guys,
so here's
what happened.
Here's what happened.
It all has to do with the backpack that he had with him when they got to him.
In an Altoona McDonald's.
So he's sitting at the McDonald's,
right,
and somebody from the restaurant recognizes him. They call the police. The police come. They say, "What's your name?" He gives a phony name. They realize immediately it's Luigi. And they want to search...
The eyebrows were the giveaway.
Yeah, and they want to search his backpack. What are you looking for? More than anything else, what is the item you're looking for?
You want the gun,
first of all.
No, you want the gun that he allegedly used to shoot and kill Brian Thompson, the United Healthcare
So
CEO.
it has a bunch of zippers. Do you look at A, some of the zippers, or B, all of the zippers?
Well, you got to make sure that you're able to use this evidence in an eventual prosecution and cops.
You're in for a penny, you're in for a pound. So you're going into the backpack.
So tell them what happened.
So they go into the Altoona restaurant. They move the backpack far enough away from Luigi that he can't grab at it, and that's the exigent circumstances you need to search in the first place. You need to show that he could have grabbed for detonated a bomb, grabbed for a gun,
there was some emergency reason for you to go and search.
So they shouldn't have done it without getting a warrant, and they didn't get the warrant. So now again, my question.
Yes.
They did open the backpack and they got a couple of items that are, I would argue, non-critical. And the gun is the critical one. So if they're looking in the backpack...
So what the officers said was, what they said, and also their body cam video apparently showed, that when they went into the backpack, they found a magazine of ammunition.
Mm-hmm.
Which is an indication that a gun might be also in the
backpack. And once they found the magazine, they stopped. They said, all right, we're going to
But that makes no sense.
Hold off.
Why didn't they, if that's what they were doing, why did they look at all and just not take the backpack to the police station, which they ended up doing, getting the search warrant, and then looking at everything?
They did take the backpack to the station.
But why look at all? If they're conscious that they need a warrant, why look at all and not just take the whole thing to the police station and then get a warrant and then look at everything? Why look at some of it?
I think they were already in the backpack and they were at that point searching for some of the items. They find the magazine, they find a computer chip, they find the passport and so forth.
Let me just lay this out. Your argument is that it's incompetence that the officers did not fully search the bag right there in the McDonald's.
Well, they were looking for. Well,
it turns out
it was the smartest thing ever.
They did that because all the things that when they got back to the police station and they searched it, then they did find the gun. They found the notebook with his manifesto about why he was going after the healthcare system.
And both of those things are admissible.
All those things are admissible because they did it. The search back at the police station.
That's right. So had they looked at McDonald's and had they found the manifesto and the gun, there'd be a problem with this case.
It would be a big problem. If that gets suppressed, that's the whole ball of wax.
So now it's just, like you said, the magazine.
The magazine, a computer chip, his wallet, a passport, and the...
That's
not
what's
critical
excluded.
stuff.
And if they can tie the bullet to the gun...
And the gun was loaded as well. So they have an ammo magazine, but they also have a loaded weapon that they found.
So, again, hats off.
I think there's never a dull moment with this case. And I think so many of us are so invested because he's a modern day Robin Hood to so many people. But, going after corrupt systems in power. And if that manifesto really is his, I do think it proves that he did it. But I'm all for them using, the legal system to get him a lesser sentence. And while I want to make it abundantly clear that I don't condone murder, I just think his story and, his intentions pull on so many of our heartstrings because have you guys seen the letters that people have been writing to him?
Yeah.
And I don't know what this says about me, but I do think it is really sweet that he's been responding.
Well, yeah, he has been responding to some. He gets loads and loads of fan mail, essentially, at prison. And some of it he is responding to. I know what you're going to say. I agree.
Welcome to America.